Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Just out here enjoying a nice Florida morning in June. Sort of like being in someone's mouth, but being dressed for winter.
All jokes aside, I want to talk about something very serious today. And that very serious thing is narcissism. We're obsessed with it. If you're on any of the social media applications, you'll notice it's a very popular topic. But do you know why? You guessed it, emotional repression, ours and theirs. Let me explain that a little further. In emotional repression, we bury certain emotions that we're afraid of or that we hate deep down in the body below the level of consciousness. And then, eventually, as adults, we start to become triggered by that same emotion out there in other people. You may have heard the phrase, I spot it, I got it. Well, it's more like I spot it, but I don't know I got it yet. This means we've got a situation where the people who repress anger get triggered by the people who express anger, and the people who repress hurt get triggered by the people who express hurt. And get this, the number one way that people in repression stay in denial about their buried emotions is by taking on identities. So now we've got a covert war happening between the two types of repressors that shows up in archetypes like men versus women, or liberals versus conservatives, or alcoholics versus codependents, or in our case, narcissists versus empaths. You've probably heard people on Team Narcissist, aka people that repress vulnerable emotions like hurt and sadness, say things like, you're too sensitive, or man up, or don't be so emotional. And it makes sense why, doesn't it? If they're not allowed to feel it, neither are you. And we've all probably heard people on Team Empath, aka people who repress their anger and power, say things like, don't be so aggressive or abusive, or you're scaring me, or you're making me feel small. Which also makes sense because since their repression won't let them express their anger and power, why should anybody else be able to? You can see the problem here, right? Both sides will continue to shadow out and project on each other until somebody takes responsibility for their suffering, reverses emotional repression, and learns how to feel and express the full range of emotions. Because that's what a relationship is anyways. It's not this one up, one down nonsense. That's what we would call codependency or a trauma bond. Both people trying to relate to each other from their own repression. It's a nightmare. So if you've truly had enough of the Freddy Krueger of emotional repression running your life and relationships, come let us help you learn the Killer Bee Inquiry so you can reverse your own repression and progressively start to see things as they really are. Once you do, I can guarantee you that the narrative of narcissist versus empath, along with every other identity war, will become as benign and meaningless as Gryffindor versus Slytherin. Which reminds me, is the beanie I made my mask out of when the pom-pom fell off. I digress.